At the time, I was a course manager at a golf course in Scotland called Piperdam Golf and Leisure Resort. So 6 years ago, I was a fit and healthy 36-year-old, 35-year-old, and wife, son, everything was ticking away, healthy, running, and all of a sudden, I fell down ill. I was diagnosed with testicular cancer, and it was a bit of a rocky ride. I went from, as I said, being fit and healthy one day to all of a sudden going to the doctors, blood test. I was actually at a BIGGA board meeting at the time because I was chairman in the central section at the time, and I got the news at the board meeting that my bloods had come back elevated, and yeah, and at that point it just sort of it changed. I ended up going to hospital, getting told I had cancer. Within a week, I was in operation. Your tumour markers should be between 0 and 5, and my tumour markers were up at 19 and 21,000. Tumours can double in size every 6 months, every year, depending on how severe it was. Mine was doubling in size weekly. I think when I was first diagnosed, it was, I think I was down at sort of 20-30% rate of cure rate, 67% chance it wasn't going to work out that well. So I ended up getting some trial chemotherapy, and they hit me as hard as they could. So I was in hospital pretty much for 16, 18 weeks. So away from family, work. I obviously couldn't go to work, couldn't be dad anymore, which was probably the most soul-destroying thing. But eventually, after the first 4 weeks, the numbers plateaued and started to drop. And at that point, you've got a 50% chance. So that was good. So then all of a sudden, yeah, things started to work away. Greenkeeping, I've been involved with since 1999. As I was a greenkeeper at a young age. And I've always been a member of BIGGA because I've always really valued BIGGA. I'd never valued the Benevolent Fund at that point. I'd always valued BIGGA, the education, the support. I was on the Central Section Committee. I knew a lot of people, and then when I fell ill, John Young and the team from down south reached out within a matter of weeks. It was so responsive. We didn't reach out to them. They actually reached out to me because I think they knew what had happened. But within a couple of weeks, we'd had a transfer of the Benevolent Fund amount of money over, and it helped so much because at that point, my wife had to become my carer for 6 months because I couldn't really do anything for myself, struggled to walk, struggled to do anything. So, yeah, the Benevolent Fund, it paid for the car parks, paid for the lunches, and it just made life more tolerable, and we're lucky to have that. And it's a resource that I don't think a lot of members value and rate, but when you're actually on the end of needing it, it's such an important resource to have. And it actually shows that BIGGA look after the members. It's not all just about the education. There is actually another layer to it as well. And as I said, both from the financial help and the emotional support and help.